Hello everybody, my name is Danny, and today is Tuesday, June 18th, 2019, 2 p.m. Thought I would just do a little video log, whatever you want to call it. I make a lot of different types of videos, so everyone should subscribe to my channel. Press that subscribe button and hit notifications so you know when I make a new video. So today I'm here in the city, and I'm at the recreation area in Bowring Park. Bowring Park in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, and this is the outdoor swim pool area. And apparently, I was just talking to the maintenance person, and he said that they're going to be open on July 2nd, so that's a little more than a week. And it looks nice out, but it's still kind of chilly, so it's probably on a day like this it's too cold to be swimming, I think. But here on the East Coast, I guess it's just takes a little more time to warm up. I know in Ontario, definitely BC, their outdoor pools are already going. And yeah, so the maintenance people are just, the maintenance guy said that they have to do, the government has to do a water test before, just to make sure that the water is safe, the water's safe and everything. Ah, there's a Labrador Retriever. I don't know if you can see the Labrador Retriever. Okay, yeah, so I'll just show a little bit of the pool here. So that water slide there, that's kind of a new thing for this pool, but last summer they had it going. Hope you can see the water slide. And it's a nice outdoor pool. The water slide, a nice outdoor pool. There's a little bit of water on the bottom in that little gazebo dressing room area. And they have another kiddie pool area, I suppose. Kiddie pool area. There's no water there, and the maintenance people are cleaning that up. And right next to it here is a skate park, right? So a skate park for skateboards. Those coaster thingies, I can't remember what they're called. Those two-wheel things. And also, I don't think they allow bikes. So here it's like Bowring Park Skate Park. The City of St. John's is not responsible for any loss, damage, or injury resulting from using this facility. You use at your own risk. For information, comments, opinions, or to report damage, call 311 St. John's. And nice, a lot of ramps here, right? So for people that like skateboard. That's a nice little ramp. Nice ramp. A nice ramp. A nice ramp. And a nice, that's a pretty nice ramp. Yeah, that's a nice ramp. I don't know what type of dog that is. I don't know what type of dog that big brown one is. Anyone know? Anyone know what type of that big brown? Okay. So here, I'm thinking I might just do a little chatter here, see what's going on. Yeah, so what's been going on? I haven't done a video blog in a while, and I just gotta check how much time I have left on this. Okay, I haven't done a video blog like this in a while because after looking at the numbers, the statistics on my channel, the numbers were just too low. The number of views too low, the subscription level was too low, so it's not worth it for me to do these types of video blogs anymore. Especially if I'm doing all this work, putting all this time, and people are not watching, right? So, yeah, what's been going on? So, let's start off in Canada. Well, congrats to the Toronto Raptors. They're actually the first Canadian team ever to win an NBA championship. So congrats to them. But there's only one NBA team in Canada, and that's the Toronto Raptors. There used to be the Vancouver Grizzlies, but they went out of business, right? And the last time that we won a national championship of a major sports event was back in 1993 with the Toronto Blue Jays. Remember, the Blue Jays won it in 92, and they also won it in 93, back-to-back for baseball, right? So that was pretty impressive for a Canadian team to win the national pastime of the US, right? So it took a while, but we finally did it. And the thing about the Raptors, I haven't really been following it, but when I was looking at the numbers, really they should have really won it, because all of the teams really that they were beating right into the playoffs were teams that were all statistically better teams than them. However, the Raptors have an amazing way of adapting and coping with being an underdog, or really a team that has less in them with regarding numbers. But the Raptors' ability to adapt and repeatedly beat teams that are better than them is just amazing. Like, they can just fool their opponent that way, right? And even if you look at it right up into the final, where they finally won it 4-2, 4-2 really is a pretty big margin. And if you look at those numbers too, right, in basketball, I don't know if it's just me, but like I find basketball at the NBA level, even the NCAA, the college level, to be like very, very close with numbers, right? Teams typically win by just one basket or 2 points, or maybe 2 or 3 baskets. So when the Raptors were winning the Golden State Warriors by like well over 6 points, just repeatedly, they really show that they're not only a better team, but a much better team. So congrats to the Toronto Raptors, right? What else? In the NHL, congrats to the St. Louis Blues. I can't remember. I don't think the St. Louis Blues have won in a very, very long time. What else is going on here? Locally speaking, there's that second-degree murder trial, right? Regarding that guy that stabbed that guy to death. And I posted a previous video. of that, and of the jury selection day. Maybe if I have more time, that trial is still going on, and I'll pop into the court and do another video there. Outside of Newfoundland, well, I talked about the Raptors. Let's talk about the US maybe a little bit. So there's this. So Trump is going to seek re-election. It seems like he'll probably win it. Joe Biden seems to be like the leading Democratic candidate. I really think he's too old, and you know, after you've been with Obama for 8 years, even though I tend to like to lean more towards the left, I'm kind of really sick of Obama, and so you know, let's just try something new and do something different, right? So what else is going on? The US here. I've been playing a lot of a little more video games like I usually do than I usually do. So I've been, that previous video where I bought the where I unboxed the Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So I've been playing more of that, quite a bit of that lately, and so I made a few videos of some of the online games I've been playing, and I'm going to post those shortly. There's lots of different modes in that video game. I find you have to, if you've never played Call of Duty before like me, you really have to explore all of the like all of the different things on that video game, right? Like the headquarters gives you a gun, and then you have multiplayer. You really have to be good with multiplayer, because I found those people will just shoot you dead. Blackout is tough. They're very good at Blackout. And zombies. I made a few videos of the zombies that I'm going to post later, and the zombies, very hard. You have to really get used to figuring out how to kill the zombies. But some of those kids on there that I play online with are really, really good. The new Call of Duty video game, Modern Warfare, they're going to call it, is it's set for release in October. So that's October 2019, and people are pretty excited about that, right? It's kind of like back to the roots of the Call of Duty franchise, right? And yeah, so I actually have to catch my bus, and I don't want to be late for my bus, so I'm just going to start walking to my bus stop. And so I'm just going to put this equipment away here, and I'll keep vlogging. I'll keep vlogging while I walk to my bus stop. Hopefully I won't miss my bus, because the bad thing about this bus is that if you miss it, you'll almost have to wait like a whole hour before the next one comes. So still have about 5 minutes, so hopefully I'll make it. And like I said, I'm in Bowring Park here, and Bowring Park is a nice park. Hope you guys can see a little bit of it. And I don't really know. I've been to this park. I've been to this park quite a few times, but I don't really know it that well. Like, I don't know like the trails or how to get to places specifically. I know more than like the general area. So hopefully I can figure out how to get out of here without getting lost. And it's a very nice day here, but the only problem is I find there's that wind, and the wind sort of makes it a little chilly. So okay, I know where we are. Nice little river. And was back up onto a main city road. Oh, okay. Yeah. And this city usually has, this road here usually has quite a few cars always going. It's sort of like a main central point, right, of the city. Nearby there's the health division with all their offices and stuff. But what else should I talk about? I was talking about Joe Biden and the election, what's going on there. I don't know. American politics. Is there anything else to talk about? The Russian collusion thing? I personally think that oh, there's the bus right there. I don't know if I'm gonna miss it. I don't know if I'm gonna miss it. It's going to the village, right?
Rock the road this summer wearing your K-Rock Iceberg Alley bandana. You can wear it around your head,
Around your neck.
or tuck it into the breast pocket of your smoking jacket. Or wear it at the Iceberg Alley Performance Day for Brett Michaels or Loverboy, or any of the amazing cool concerts.
Plus, we're giving away free propane for being propane. Get your propane at 12 pounds.
So I'm back home. I had to stop the recording when I got into the bus because one time that happened, and the bus driver told me that there was customers are not allowed to record in the bus for some reason. But anyways, yeah, so I just felt that it would be good for me to finish the video because the video was kind of incomplete, and I'm a thorough person and I don't like to do anything, as I call, half-ass. I like to finish things completely. Do a good job at everything that I do. Yeah. So here we're about it seems like the 20-minute mark. So I think maybe I don't want to go over half hour. So maybe another 10 minutes here. Okay, yeah, so it's funny because sometimes when you go on online and stuff, and people go on. They do like they go live on YouTube or whatever, and sometimes they're people who are involved in different industries, and sometimes when you have these people from America who are not into politics, and then they tend to ask me questions regarding politics. A lot of them will shy away and say, nah, I don't really, I try to stay away from politics. So they'll say something like, it's just too stupid, and then they won't even bother talk about it at all. So it's funny, some people just don't want to talk about American politics at all. But it kind of sucks that way because people like to get people's opinions. It's not like they have to like elaborate on something for over a half hour in detail, but like even just asking something, a common question like, what do you think of Trump? And people won't even respond to that at all, right? Maybe it's just that question regarding Trump. They don't want to talk about him at all, but sometimes people don't want to talk about, let's say, American politics at all. But, I think it's okay for them. Let's just say if someone asks them, what do you think of Trump? Or what do you think he's doing a good job or not? Maybe they could at least just say something like, I don't like him, or I like him, or I think he's doing a good job, or I think he's doing a lousy job, or something like that. But, a lot of people will just say, I don't want to talk about it at all. But, yeah, so when I was in the park, I talked about American politics, so I think I'm going to move on from that. Trying to think of what else. Because this is a video blog, it's supposed to be about me. So over the weekend, I played in another chess tournament. So this tournament was they call it a classical tournament. So classical means like the traditional time controls in chess, right? So longer time controls. So the non-traditional, the more modern time controls would be something like what they call speed chess, like rapid chess or blitz chess. So that's more like, maybe 30-minute game, 20-minute game. Blitz is only 5 minutes. But so a classical, this tournament was set at 60 minutes per player plus a 30-second increment. So that's 30 seconds added on to every move. So that's pretty good, like the World Championship, they go well beyond that, pretty much, I think, double that time. A lot of the more normal tournaments, let's say that I watch in the US, a lot of them are 90 minutes plus a 30-second increment or something like that. But yeah, just a few of my thoughts. I played, there weren't very many people that showed up. Hardly just enough to even have a tournament. So that just made everything just much more difficult, in like number-wise, and how to like structure like the tournament. And so I only got to play 3 games, right? So I was a little disappointed in that. I did not really do well in this tournament. Just a few of my thoughts. When I got home and I lost that final match, I just felt so lousy. But I had to tell myself that, I could have just stayed home all weekend and not participated. However, it's just like anything. Like, you need practice, right? And you need experience, and especially like you play sports like soccer or volleyball or hockey, you also need game experience or tournament experience, right? You have to get used to playing in real game experiences, real game tournaments, and that's how you learn, right? You learn from your mistakes, and sometimes it's just little things too that you learn, right? Like I'm not that much of a fan of like club chess, playing chess just in clubs, because what I see a lot is like, it's just people just going just way too far, right? You see people like um, people watching, and then they're standing watching, and then they'll tell people like their friends which moves to play, or they'll tell them like what moves not to play, and basically tell them all the answers, right? And like if you're like playing a game of chess, which is very precise, and then someone's telling the other guy the answer, it's just there's no point, right? And you have I see now it's like I have been away from chess for a long time, but now I see what's big now is a lot of people, they like to do what's called is analysis. Like people like to talk about chess or analyze it and stuff like that, right? And I find that people just go too overboard with that, right? I see like in club chess or whatever, like two people who are in the middle of a game, but they're telling each other like what moves, telling each other like the two players are telling each other what moves to play or what moves not to play, like during a game, right? Like, and people will say they're analyzing or like, but even if it is just a casual game, like what I don't see the point in if people are telling you the answers or what moves to make or not moves to make when you're in the middle of the game, there's kind of no point even having a game, right? So like in a tournament, like just like anything, like any sport, it's just strong structure, and it just puts people where you can just focus on just the game, the sport, or whatever, and eliminate all of the nonsense, right? So, you know, yeah. So like I said, just sometimes it's just like after getting home and thinking about why I did so badly, but I just learned so much. I learned from all my mistakes, and like just going home and just realizing, hey, like maybe I should have made this move, or I need to fine tune this opening or fine tune this defense, and like maybe I need to look something up a little bit, or like maybe like my middle game is just a little weak, and so that's where I have to work on my tactical. Like maybe you realize that you have certain like habits, right? That even just small little things that you need to work on, right? Like regarding how to like organize your time, your 60 minutes, right? Like so that you don't like end up at the end of it just being almost having no time at all, right? Or yeah, just things like that, right? So yeah, it's just a learning experience, and so I didn't do well in the tournament, but I'm still glad that I went. Um, what else can I talk about? Um, um, hmm, Soccer, yeah. Now that like the weather is getting nice and stuff, it's like June 18th now. Um, regarding soccer, like the reason I stopped organizing the soccer was because for many reasons. Like I find like for me, like the indoor where what I see just over and over again, and I've talked to other people and they say it happens the same with them, is like, what you see a lot in the indoor season is people like um, deciding that they're going to go and make their own groups behind your back, right? So they won't tell you that they're making their own group or that they're playing in different groups. They'll just do it behind your back, right? Um, and like that's very, very disloyal in kind of. And thing too is that like for these types of activities like soccer pickups or whatever, like we don't really have that many players to pick from, right? So if you only have maybe like 10 available players, right? And then someone just secretly goes and makes another game the day before with those same like with those nine of those 10 players, let's say, right? Like they're not going to want to play the next day, right? And then I'll be organizing a game and where nobody will show up. Or if I built up this um, base of players that I play with, and then someone secretly goes and makes a different group and basically takes all of those players, and then they don't want to play in my group at all, right? Like, not only will I have no one to to have in my games, but like all that work that I spent like trying to recruit players and all that type of thing, it's just all a waste of my time and energy, right? And especially with indoor, it happens a lot. I've actually seen it happen outdoor last summer too. Um, I'm online occasionally through social media, so it's not like I'm completely stupid, you know. Um, um, I saw at least one person that um, would come to my games, and um, this person came to um, a lot of my games, and then I would see on different social media posts that she would post, and she would be like, "Oh, I have this game that I also wanted to play, right?" And she's trying to recruit players from, to make her own games, even outdoors, right? Where, you know, indoor it's kind of like okay, like it's harder for people to stay in one group. But then, like, over the last few summers, we've all stayed one group, right? So this one girl decides, oh, well, you know, not only is she going to make her own games, but she's kind of saying that she doesn't like my group, right? Like, for some reason, she doesn't like my group, so she doesn't want to play in my group, right? So that's not only insulting to me, but that's insulting to all of us, right? And so, um, like, um, so I don't know if she's taking the players that like I built up to play in her own games and that type of thing. But like we're all people, we all have feelings too, right? And like like that's going to hurt not only perhaps my feelings but other people's feelings also. But when you get into the mindset with these things where people start going, you know, it's not just about soccer where it's like, oh, I don't like this person or I don't like these group of people or I only want to play soccer with these types of people and I don't want to play with these types of people. Like you're being picky and you're kind of being discriminatory too. And because I see that like a lot with these types of groups, like it sort of like makes me not want to organize them anymore. And like these are some of the reasons why for me, like I guess it's just my opinion and my way of thinking, my perspective, like or what's going on in my head as to like why I don't really like to organize them anymore. However, like we only have like short summers here in Newfoundland. So, I mean, maybe I could start organizing again. However, like, I would have to see proof or evidence that people are going to show up, right? Like, I, last in the indoor season, like, I made the last two games that I made, like, no one showed up at all, right? So, there's no point for me to continue at that point. Like for the summer, like if people are showing up and they're proving to me that they're going to be there so that I'm not wasting my time and energy, right? Then I'm willing to do it, right? Um, and that has to be like a first impression, right? That has to start right from the beginning. So, like, if I were to start doing these again the summer, like people would have to show up right from the beginning and show commitment, right? That they're a little serious about this and they want to have some sort of commitment, at least make some sort of an effort, right? The problem with this type of stuff is that people can sort of come in and they kind of think of these as a joke, right? Like I remember when I was on the swim team in high school, and like the swim team is kind of like it's competitive, but it's kind of open where the coaches are sort of open to like letting people like pretty much anyone join in, like it's more inclusive, right? But by being open and inclusive and welcoming to people, what happened with that swim team is that people would just come in from nowhere. You wouldn't know who they were from, and they would kind of just think of the whole thing as a joke, right? Like they would just walk in without any screening or anything like that, and then they would just take the whole thing as a joke, right? Meaning, like not show up to practices, like always be late, or not put any effort into it or anything like that, right? And that's pretty like disrespectful and um, um, insulting to not only the coaching but other members of the group too, right? So um, that's kind of like what I mean by um, um, how people take certain things as a joke, right? Um, but anyways, I don't really think I have that much more to talk about. When it comes to music, maybe um, I used to be like pretty into like rock or hard rock or even what they call like metal, heavy metal. And back when I was a teenager, I still kind of am, sort of. I heard on the news that I read on the news that the Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. Remember, Dave Mustaine was formerly at one point with Metallica, and then and then he moved on to form his band Megadeth, highly successful. But he was just diagnosed with throat cancer, which is really terrible because I don't, I can't, I don't, I'd have to look it up, but I'm quite sure that he's the lead singer, right? So being the lead vocalist, the lead singer, and having throat cancer, I don't know like how that's going to be dealt with. And so I guess like all of his summer concerts, in which we are this summer now, are all going to be canceled. And he says that the Mega Cruise, their big event in October, is still on. But it really sucks for everyone, especially them, because for bands, that's how they make all their money, with those summer festivals, those summer events, right? Um, um, yeah, it's funny because when you think of Megadeth, like a lot of people sort of just automatically generalize and are negative about it. But it's not just like a crazy like metal. I think Megadeth is very different because the instrumentation of it, and like the basses and like, the guitar is just so like um, brilliant, right? And it's so well crafted, and a lot of that is just due to like Dave Mustaine, um, um, and the way that he can just um, um, have so much expertise in that electric guitar or bass or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so that's music. I just wanted to talk about music. What about movies? Summer movies are always big, right? Um, Summer movies are always big. I know the new Spider-Man movie is out over the summer. I think it's either June or July. Um, I guess it's called something like um, Away, or Spider-Man is Away, or something like that. Um, it sounds pretty interesting to see Spider-Man like in like Paris or whatever. Because if you think about it, all the Spider-Man major motion pictures have all been based in America, which is fine, right? Because it just makes sense. But for some, but it's kind of nice to see Spider-Man being filmed like internationally, right? It's in the movie to see him being like to be like climbing like the Eiffel Tower or something. It sounds pretty like a good idea. Um, but I don't know if I'll go and see it or not. Um, um, I can't think of any other summer movies. I haven't really like looked that much up. Um, but yeah, but like I said, um, if you're into video games and if you like first person shooter games, and um, the Call of Duty franchise. So like I said, in October, Modern Warfare is going to be here, and they're saying like it's going to go like back to its roots and stuff. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably all I want to talk about for this video blog. So like I said in the beginning, I wasn't doing very many of these video blogs or even like videos in general because I have to ask myself, is it worth it, right? So like for me, the number one thing on my priority is like to get my new subscriber count up, and so like that. I mean, views, like views are also very important, right? Like the number of views for my videos are also very important. Like people need to watch my videos, but also like for me, it's just like my new subscriber number has to go up, right? So like in order for me to keep making these videos, I have to see that the number of views goes up, but more importantly, my new subscriber amount has to go up, right? And when people subscribe, you have all these perks, right? You can comment, you can interact with other YouTubers, and you should click on, like I said, notifications. And so when you click on notifications, you'll get a notification and you'll know exactly when I make a new video, right? So that it'll be relevant. Yeah. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for watching this. Thanks a lot for watching this YouTube video. It's much appreciated. Peace out.